Monkeys took the role of caretakers when a 10-year-old girl was stranded in the middle of the jungle. No one should ever judge someone by their looks. Just take the case of Marina Chapman. If you just take a look at her, you can see she's just like any other girl. But there's something truly unique about this woman, something inhuman that nobody could have ever guessed happened to her. Marina was actually raised by monkeys. If you read about her history, you'll learn about her tragic past, but that she managed to pull through bravely. You'll never believe this remarkable story, something straight out of storybooks. We must have all met someone whom we feel has a very unique life story, but none could ever compare to the life that Marina has led. It's nothing like a normal life that most of us have. However, her life started out very normally. She was born during the early 1950s in where she believes to be Colombia. However, this can never actually be fact-checked as no one has any records. So, like we said, Marina did have a pretty ordinary upbringing initially. It was most likely she was born to a mother and father. She must have even had siblings of her own. However, in the later stages of her life, after all the tragedy she'd been through, she couldn't even remember their names or faces. So she ended up not being able to communicate in her native Spanish in the end. Marina isn't even her own birth name. Since no one knew where or how she came about, it was just a name given to her. The name that she was born with had been lost long ago. Marina was actually a name that she wanted to give herself, and so everyone followed her wish and called her Marina. In the initial stages of her life, she was given quite a lot of names. So how did this woman end up in such an unbelievable circumstance? Well, Marina was just 4 years old when a huge disaster struck. This disaster left her world upside down. It made her leave her world behind and everything that she ever knew. She lost her life, never to be the same again. When her 5th birthday was nearing, she'd have to give up all that she ever knew. So just like any other normal and healthy girl, little Marina loved to play around and explore. She also had one place that she especially loved to spend time in. As she was playing in her favorite secret spot, Marina would pass time by just enjoying herself. Her favorite spot was in the vegetable garden right next to the peas. She enjoyed the sweet taste of them and the sound of the crack whenever she broke them apart. One time when she was in her favorite spot in the garden, disaster struck. It took place when she least expected it. Marina was just going about her own business, enjoying her time in the garden. She wasn't paying attention to anything but her peas. Just then, somebody snuck up behind the little girl. A hand reached for her mouth and grabbed the poor little girl suddenly. Imagine the amount of trauma and fear this incident must have instilled in the poor defenseless girl. I saw a hand cover my mouth, a black hand and a white hanky. Then I realized there were 2 people taking me away. Marina later revealed in an interview she gave. She claims that there was a very strong-smelling chemical the stranger used. It must have been chloroform. Marina obviously passed out because of the mysterious chemical that this person used while grabbing the poor girl. The only memory Marina had of this incident was the fact that she was indeed going to die then and there. The stranger that grabbed her was very quick and sly, so Marina never got a chance to do anything. Everything was a blur and she didn't even have the chance to cry for help. So when Marina was asked later about what happened next, she revealed she couldn't remember anything past the grabbing. She could only recall waking up hazy the next morning with a slight headache. Her eyelids became very heavy then, and she was able to tell that an engine and even farm animals were around her. She was able to decipher that she was in some sort of truck or car. Since she'd been chemically intoxicated, Marina wasn't able to open her eyes that easily. However, when she finally summoned the strength to do so, she was blinded by the sunlight. She was terrified as she couldn't tell how long she'd been kept like that by the stranger. She wasn't able to look at her captor and also realized she wasn't exactly alone. Marina was shocked because she could hear the sounds of other children. It was truly a shocking moment for her because she wasn't exactly alone in the vehicle. Marina could even hear children whimpering next to her. She could hear the sobs of other kids that must have also been kidnapped. All around Marina was danger, and she had this feeling that it would be the end. Even though Marina was filled with fear and desperation, she was gradually getting more and more tired. This was probably the after effects of the drugs she was given by her abductors, and so she gradually slipped back into unconsciousness. Her body couldn't stay awake anymore, and so she dozed off, not knowing what lay in store for her. Marina would finally snap back awake after she was given a number of wet slaps to the face. She had been passed out for quite some time now. As she was slowly regaining consciousness, she could tell these wet slaps were coming from tree leaves. She was actually on the shoulder of one of her kidnappers in the Colombian jungle by one of the men. There were others behind them too. Marina could sense something wasn't quite right. There was something very suspicious about what the men were doing. They weren't just taking her through the jungle. Marina got a sense they were running away from something in it. Her instincts told her they were eager to run away from something that was present there in the jungle with them. All this was very confusing for the little girl, but something even stranger took place right after. The men who'd taken her captive were moving in different directions as though they were lost and couldn't tell which way to go. There were two things that came to Marina's mind at the time. Who were these men running away from, and where are the other children gone? As Marina was lost in her thoughts, the men who'd taken her dumped Marina suddenly on the ground. She was still a little blurred out, so the only thing she could recall from then was the men's legs that were running away. These men didn't seem to want her along anymore, and they dumped her in the middle of a jungle. When she realized she'd been dropped off by the men in the middle of the jungle, Marina's first instinct was to scream. After trying to do this, she realized it wasn't possible. It seemed as though she was in a bad dream where no sounds came out. She was filled with fright. So there she was, left alone in the remote corners of the Colombian forest. Little Marina was there in the jungle, scared and confused. What was going on? What had happened to those guys? What was the actual reason for those men having left her alone? Surely something must have happened for the men to have just abandoned her so suddenly. And why was Marina taken by them in the first place? Marina's head was puzzled and very confused, trying to comprehend what had just happened. She was there laying on the jungle floor, confused as to how she was supposed to go on. Remember, she was just about to turn 5 years old. She kept thinking to herself that her parents might have sent her away, and it was truly something that consumed her thoughts. Little Marina was very disturbed by the fate that she had to live with. She kept wondering if her mother and father had gotten mad at her. She was having a guilty conscience that she'd eaten so many peas from the vegetable garden, and that her mom had ordered for her to be taken away. But soon she was about to realize this wasn't the case at all. Marina's first instinct was for her to try and return to her family. At the same time, Marina was afraid her parents might have sent someone to come and look for her, so it might have been wiser to stay still. In the end, she decided to look for signs of civilization that quickly led her to being lost. Since she didn't know how to find her way back to the place she was first located, she cried as the day came to a close. Marina couldn't wait for the night to end so the sun would come once more. By the time morning came, she recalled that there were monkeys everywhere around her. She was just a 5-year-old, so she could only count to 10. Marina recalls there were more than 10 monkeys that came next to her that morning. She revealed that they were all differently shaped in size, but they all looked similar. Marina wasn't sure if they were trustworthy, if they were friends or not. As she didn't know if she could trust the monkeys, Marina was very jealous. She was envious of the monkeys because they were so close to each other and they seemed like a big happy family. She was away from hers, so it made her want to be like them so much more. One of the monkeys then became extra curious and started getting close to her. Marina was bracing herself for the worst when the monkey approached her. The monkey moved in very close to Marina, almost at an arm's reach. He then shoved Marina over on her side. She didn't stir and was afraid of what was about to happen next. The monkey then went back to his group, losing interest in the strange girl. The monkeys started playing together and gave Marina no attention. She felt ignored and wished to be a part of their group. Was she ever going to be given a chance? Marina was out and about searching for food, and she unfortunately ate something that was poisonous. She was lying on the ground, hungry and fearing that she might die. Then one of the older monkeys came over to her. The monkey led Marina to muddy water body, holding her head as if to say drink it. So when Marina drank the water, she could release the toxins when she vomited. The monkey ended up saving her life. The monkeys then started to interact with little Marina a lot more after that. She was getting closer and closer. The monkeys even helped groom Marina's hair and took out bugs to eat. It seemed as though she was accepted as part of their extended family. According to Marina, she could tell the monkeys were comfortable with her after performing the intimate habit of urine scent marking in front of her. Still, they weren't providing for her though. Since everyone in the jungle was providing for themselves, even Marina had to survive by herself. The monkeys fortunately were willing to help her get food. They'd go and get fruits to eat, dropping some that Marina would sparingly eat and take for herself. Marina had to be quick as the monkeys would have probably come back to collect what they dropped. She was now living this and started to lose her humanity. In Marina's free time, she was able to play with some of the monkeys that were in the mood to entertain her. She quickly learned how to climb trees just like the monkeys around her. In a matter of time, she became more nimble and more agile than the average human. Marina also started to walk on all fours. As the years went on, her hair had reached her knees and the white shirt she was abandoned with had withered away, forgetting the language she was raised with too. Since Marina had been living in the jungle for a few years now, she'd forgotten all about her parents and even the name she'd been given when she was born. She was now partially being raised by monkeys in the midst of the jungle, but all this came to an end one fine day. A monkey shriek alarmed Marina that there was danger nearby. All the animals ran for cover and even Marina hid in a hollow log. Poachers had found their way into the forest that Marina was living in. These men took monkeys and birds, not showing mercy on any of the animals. Marina could see that the mother monkeys were distraught after having their babies taken away from them. She even saw one monkey lie down and collapse after having her baby taken. The poachers were increasing and one day something unexpected took place. One day, the poachers grew closer and closer to the monkeys, screaming in terror. There was something quite different about these humans that were approaching. Marina could tell that one of them was a female. She had a sense that this lady would be nice to her, that she'd want what was good for her. There was a compassionate aura that Marina could feel, so Marina decided to approach her no matter how dangerous it was. As soon as the hunters saw Marina, they were filled with disbelief. Marina was all black, with dirt covering her whole body from not washing all those years. On top of that, she was still on all fours like a wild animal. The hunters were aiming their guns at Marina, trembling in fear. Marina went closer to the two and was now just a touch away. Then Marina took her hand and gently touched the woman. The tension lessened, but the man was still unconvinced. Marina wasn't able to comprehend, but was certain that the man wasn't happy. But after a while, she became a little better. The two of them led Marina by the hand and got her out of the jungle. So finally, Marina was going to get out of the jungle she dwelt in for a few years. How long she'd stayed in the jungle is something no one knows. She was about 10 years old when she was discovered, and judging from her hair, she must have spent 5 years in it. This wasn't the end, though. The poachers then left Marina in a house in the Colombian city of Cucuta, where the owner was a large woman. The place was not so inviting and Marina was hesitant to enter it. Her instincts told her this was a bad place, but she didn't know how to communicate this to anyone. Marina wasn't actually aware the place she'd been kept in was a brothel. The poachers sold the 10-year-old girl for a wad of pesos and a parrot. Marina was given a bath and made to clean immediately. Going back to the human ways was quite the challenge for poor Marina. She was taught how to stand up straight and how to walk on 2 feet. She even had to learn how to speak again. The madam that Marina ended up working for was called Ana Carmen. Ana Carmen wasn't exactly a sympathetic person. She treated Marina poorly and didn't appreciate how she acted and looked. Marina was still acting like a monkey and would run off with the food she was given. Marina was then given the name Gloria when she stayed in the brothel. Ana Carmen would punish her whenever she felt like it and if she was ever disobedient. Marina doesn't remember quite clearly her time at the brothel, but remembers the day she ran away clearly. A man visited the brothel asking for the youngest girl. When Ana Carmen pointed at Marina, she jolted out of the house. She was literally running for her life. Since she'd never been out in the city before, Marina found herself homeless. Though she was wandering the streets without a destination, Marina was fine as long as she was away from the brothel. She went to a park in the city center and joined the homeless children. She slept alongside the other homeless kids and felt a sense of belonging for the first time. Marina felt fresh and free again. Marina then looked for a job and ended up working as a maid for a family. The family ended up being criminals who actually enslaved poor Marina. She stayed with the family for some time until somebody finally came to her rescue. Marina was lucky to meet a woman named Maruja. Maruja was the neighbor and knew what happened to Marina. She wanted to rescue her so bad, so she tried helping her. Maruja bought Marina a ticket to fly to Bogota. This was where one of her kids lived. Marina received her very first gift, which was a pale blue satin dress, a hair clip, white socks, and a pair of shiny white shoes from this lovely neighbor. While residing in Bogota, Marina joined the business that the family held, which was textiles. She was a hard worker, so she did well at work. Maruja eventually adopted Marina and was given this name. Their business picked up nicely, so the whole family shifted to Bradford, England during the time it was the hub of the wool industry. Marina joined the family and was working as a nanny too. She was about to meet her future husband John Chapman when she attended church one day. They soon tied the knot and had kids on their own. Marina has written books about her life with help from her kids, but her jungle history is now a long forgotten past.